So today we're going to finish up the chapter through a couple of sections. So the first one, blood plasma. So this is the liquid part, the fluid part of your blood. Plasma is clear, meaning it's not cloudy. It is straw colored, so clear doesn't mean see-through. Clear means it is the transparent part of the blood. It is a yellowish color when you take all of the other particles, all of the blood cells out of it. So plasma is 92% water. It's mostly water. So your plasma amount can fluctuate due to your hydration, but it carries or contains a variety of substances. Plasma's job is to transport nutrients, where like your red blood cells is more gases and oxygen, carbon dioxide. Plasma is going to carry your nutrients that you need, more gases. It's going to regulate your fluids, your hydration, electrolytes, and keep your pH about the same. So there's a lot of hype lately about acidic pH levels. We eat so many acids. Your plasma does a pretty good job of regulating it anyway. Even if you eat acidic foods, your plasma is going to regulate that for the most part. Plasma proteins are the most abundant substances that your plasma will carry. And these plasma proteins, they're not used for energy. They're not building cells. They are called albumins, globulins, and fibrinogen. The albumins help to maintain the colloid osmotic pressure of the blood, and they are the most abundant. So osmotic biology deals with water. So basically the albumins are very important for maintaining blood pressure or water pressure in your blood and keeping that at a maintainable, stable level. So albumins, water pressure, or osmotic pressure. The globulins, then, the next smallest or next step would be 36%. There's alpha, beta, and gamma globulins. Alpha and beta are going to carry lipids and then fat-soluble vitamins. So alpha and beta globulins, I just think of fats, basically. So they're going to actually carry lipids, which are fats, and then also vitamins that are stored or they are fat soluble. They are going to go to fatty areas. Gamma globulins are a specific type of antibody. So gamma globulins are separate. And then the last type of plasma protein is fibrinogen, and it's a very small percent, but it's probably the one that you think about the most because you probably don't think about your water pressure in your blood. You probably don't think about fats being carried around or things like that. But fibrinogen is very important for blood coagulation. So if you've ever cut your finger or anything like that, fibrinogen is very important for blood clotting. So here's the table that just goes over everything. It does show the origin or where those plasma proteins typically come from, and there again sums up the functions of each one. Plasma also carries gases and nutrients. The most important gases, same as your hemoglobin, are going to be oxygen and carbon dioxide. So those are the main gases that are carried by your blood, period. The plasma nutrients, so nutrients, these are useful to your body. They are important for energy. Amino acids that build all sorts of proteins, monosaccharides, which are simple sugars, nucleotides, lipids, all of these nutrients typically come from somewhere in your digestive tract. Most common, probably the small intestine. Because lipids, fats, do not dissolve, they're not soluble in water of the plasma, they're surrounded by protein molecules for transport through the bloodstream and then they become a lipoprotein. Kind of like oil and water. Fats don't dissolve in water. So therefore they're going to be surrounded by a protein, and that protein then is called a lipoprotein. Non-protein nitrogenous substances. Here, amino acids, urea, uric acid, creatine, creatinine. A lot of these might be wastes or byproducts. So urea and uric acid are the byproducts of breaking down proteins, protein catabolism. And you are going to, even not only blood, but in urine tests, they measure urea. So urea is a waste. It's carried in your blood. It's also filtered. It's also present in urine. And urea and uric acid have an odor to it. It's a breakdown of a protein. So a lot of the smell from sweat, if you have smelly sweat or smelly urine, a lot of that's going to come from the urea, is what gives it that odor. Amino acids are formed, and they come from the breakdown of proteins. They're a small part of the chain in a protein. And then creatinine comes from creatine or creatine phosphate in the muscles. So these are all they're not proteins. Amino acid is a small part of a protein, but it's not actually a protein. The water part, plasma part, is going to carry your electrolytes. And your electrolytes, you hear a lot about these if you look at your Powerade, Gatorade. Sodium, potassium, calcium, ions or electrolytes, magnesium chloride, bicarbonate, very important for the pH of your blood, also phosphates, sulfates. These are just common electrolytes or ion. Chemistry, we call these ions. Biology, we call them electrolytes. They're the same thing. They have a charge. So sodium is Na+. That would be the electrolyte. Some of these ions are also helpful in osmotic pressure, transfer of things, and then like I said, bicarbonate is important for the pH of your blood. Here is the table that I wanted to show a long time ago, and now I don't know if I bumped a button or what. Here is, it shows the different parts of the blood. Actually, we've looked at this before. We have looked at this one before. So now, we talked about the formed elements. Now we're looking at plasma. Here again, still 92%. Here's the three proteins in order, most common to least common. Gases, table adds nitrogen, carbon dioxide and oxygen, the most important. Nitrogen would be another one. But these are the substances that are found inside of your plasma. And we'll stop there for now.